Thank you, Marcia. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Information Technology Academy Madison Information Evening. We're really happy you're here. We hope you get what you need from here and learn everything you need to apply to our program. I'm going to begin with a land acknowledgement. So the University of Wisconsin-Madison occupies ancestral Ho-Chunk land, a place their nation has called Dejop since time immemorial. In an 1832 treaty, the Ho-Chunk were forced to cede this territory. Decades of ethnic cleansing followed when both the federal and state government repeatedly, but unsuccessfully, sought to forcibly remove the Ho-Chunk from Wisconsin. This history of colonization informs our shared future of collaboration and innovation. And today, UW-Madison respects the inherent sovereignty of the Ho-Chunk Nation, along with the 11 other First Nations of Wisconsin. So we're going to do introductions right now from all the staff, and I'll begin. My name is AJ Daughtry-Krill. I'm Technology Education Lead at ITA, and you'll be hearing more from me tonight about our technology curriculum.
Good evening. I'm Marcia Lovett. A lot of you have seen my emails come, so here's the face with that name. Thank you so much for joining us. And we are fortunate to have so many people have signed up, so they'll be gradually coming into the our presentation this evening. So we welcome everybody and thank you so much. I also wanted to mention that, I forgot to introduce myself. I am one of the program managers with ITA, and a large part of my job is coordinating the recruitment efforts for our team. One other thing I will say that AJ mentioned, so some of you may have mentioned it at the beginning, there is a designated time at the end of the program, plenty of time for questions. So as you have questions as you're going through, don't feel that you're going to get lost in the shuffle. You can certainly drop that in the chat, or you can wait for the time of Q&A. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy. And thank you again for taking the time to join ITA.
Hi, everyone. It's so awesome to have everyone here on this Zoom call. My name is Liliana Teniente, and I am an academic instructor with the ITA program. I teach ACT prep and college prep classes. I am also an alum of the program, class of 2017, and I am a current graduate student here at UW-Madison.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Mauricio. I am currently the ITA logistical assistant and also an ITA alum of class of 2020, currently at my sophomore year at UW-Madison.
Hello, my name is Brandon Arunsava. I am the digital media assistant here for ITA. I graduated from ITA in the class of 2017. And if you guys have any questions, I'll be monitoring your questions. So don't feel like your questions are being ignored, but definitely put them in the chat and then we'll get to them at the end during the Q&A session if the other staff don't see them.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christopher Kilgore. I'm the Tribal Programs Manager for the Information Technology Academy, working in the Lac du Flambeau and Oneida communities, as well as working in the summer institutes in the Madison area. It's great to be here and great to see everyone.
Hi, I'm Julie Hagstrom. I'm the Student Success Outreach Coordinator in the Lac du Flambeau tribal site.
I'm Ninoska. I am the lead technology instructor for our tribal sites. I am a ITA alum, class of 2015, as well as a UW-Madison alum of 2019.
And I believe that's all of our staff, and then with the exception of our executive director, who will introduce and then go on to our next part of the program. So I'll give it to Ron.
Thank you, Marcia, and good evening, everyone. Really pleased that you're all here for this. So I'm just going to give you a little introduction to the Information Technology Academy here. In alignment with the UW-Madison Diversity Framework, the Information Technology Academy is an innovative pre-college initiative for diverse students at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. We're housed in the Division of Information Technology, and we work in partnership with UW-Madison's People program. ITA has 3 program sites. We serve students in Lac du Flambeau, Oneida, and the Madison communities. Our goal is to increase the enrollment rates and success of diverse students at UW-Madison. And our students in the program build their knowledge and skills through hands-on technology coursework, academic preparation, tutoring, internships. Our coursework is 50% academic preparation and 50% information technology preparation. And so in addition to learning a lot about technology during their 4-year high school experience, by the time our students are seniors, our goal is to have them be competitive applicants for admission to UW-Madison. So we're really looking forward to getting a lot of talented young people to submit applications, and looking forward to having you hear the rest of the presentation here. I'll pass this back to the staff. So thanks very much and welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you for speaking a little bit about ITA's mission and our history. Brandon, if you wouldn't mind going to the next slide, please. All right, so now I'm going to be jumping in to talk about some of the benefits that students receive as a part of the ITA program. And the reason that I say some benefits is because there are really just too many great things for me to list out about this program. I'd say that one of the biggest benefits that ITA students receive is, as Ron mentioned earlier, college preparation. As a pre-college program, preparing our students for competitive university admissions is our #1 goal. ITA scholars spend a significant amount of time in academic workshops covering topics such as study skills, ACT test preparation, and college prep. We also offer academic support and regular tutoring services to help students with their schoolwork as well as their ITA assignments. And ITA's tutoring and academic counseling services help students monitor their progress throughout their high school careers to help ensure that they're on the right track. And then, of course, we are a technology-focused program. It's even in our name. ITA's second goal for students is to hone in on their technology skills and to really just get creative. So after completing their first year at the ITA summer camp, just before their freshman year of high school, students receive a computer loan with top-of-the-line software and tech support. My wonderful colleague AJ here will be talking a little bit more about what the tech training entails. But for now, I'll just say that our tech program really helps students cultivate incredibly useful technology skills that will be relevant for their future academic and their professional careers as well. The program also provides numerous opportunities for students to unleash their creativity and really get to make some really meaningful projects too. And finally, I would be remiss if I did not mention the full tuition scholarship that ITA students are eligible for upon successfully completing the ITA program. So during their senior year, ITA students must apply to and be accepted into the University of Wisconsin-Madison to qualify for the scholarship. Now, this does not mean that if you are accepted into the ITA program that you will automatically be accepted into UW-Madison. It unfortunately doesn't work like that. You must be accepted to both the ITA program and UW-Madison to receive the tuition scholarship. And so we cannot guarantee admission into the university, but I will say that the ITA staff and the entire ITA community at large are here to really support our students every step of the way through high school and to help them prepare to be ready for college. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention that everything in our program is free to students and families. Next slide, please. So during their time at ITA, students receive 4 years of college preparation, as well as opportunities for personal growth. At ITA, we strive to really develop and support 21st century leaders. So this means that students will take specialized courses on everything from study skills, career development, and leadership to help prepare them for college and beyond. ITA students also receive instruction on things like resume writing and interviewing, and they even have the opportunity to be matched with one of our partners and have a summer internship. And then I'd say that probably the most exciting college prep opportunity for ITA students is our week-long summer residential experience. It's called SRE for short. SRE has traditionally been an in-person summer camp for our Madison's campus. It happens during the last summer before students graduate from high school. So it's really the chance for them to get geared up for their college applications. And the summer camp does give them a taste of what college living is all about. At SRE, ITA students work collaboratively on an entrepreneurial tech project. They also get to participate in college essay writing workshops. And they do also get to take a really cool class focused on personal identity and learning about themselves as individuals. Altogether, I'd say that we have a really full, engaging, and fun academic curriculum that helps students prepare to be college ready and also for their future success. And with that, I will now pass the virtual mic on to AJ here to talk about our tech training.
Thank you, Liliana. So to continue on in understanding what our program offers its students, we teach a wide variety of technology course topics. Everything from taking apart desktops and laptops and putting them back together and learning how to do repairs on computers. We also do photography, graphic design. We do video production, which is my personal favorite, and many students love that unit. We learn about programming, Boolean logic, web design, spreadsheets. We go into sound design, and we do so much more. Over the 4 years that students are in our program, they learn from many graduates from the program who are currently college students, as well as other college students from UW-Madison. So many different topics. Let's go to the next slide, please. So when we talk about technology training, that can bring up a lot of different experiences and memories or ideas about what that means. What it means at ITA is very fun, active, hands-on, and creative work. We love to provide individual feedback, so we're tracking how students are doing, what questions they have. We make it a very casual and helpful environment, and at the same time focused and driven environment as well. Students do get to have that free laptop while they're in our program, and it's loaded with the software that we're going to be teaching. Like I already said, college students and graduates from our program teach these trainings, and they went through it themselves. So we're always improving. In fact, one of the things that our returning employees say that have graduated from high school, when they look at what the freshmen are doing in our program, they're always super jealous and amazed at what they get to do that they didn't get to do back when they were freshmen. So it's really a fantastic opportunity and a lot of fun. And then all of a sudden you realize you've gained all these skills. Next slide, please. Okay, so senior year of Information Technology Academy, the technology curriculum and labs are focused on pulling together an online professional portfolio. As you can see on this slide, there's some images, screenshots of a student's portfolio from a couple years ago. Students create a homepage, they create an about me statement, they put their resume up there, and then they pursue 3 technology independent projects of their own. So all that 3 years of technology training and academic preparedness, we unleash our students' creativity and talent and have them come up with 3 projects that they know will help them grow and that they'll succeed in. And then they place those on their online portfolio. Next slide, please. Just to give you an idea of what a day looks like at ITA, now that you know what our curriculum looks like and what the program offers overall, just looking at what a typical Saturday might look like here in Madison, students would arrive at the Computer Sciences building right on campus. It's right by Union South and Camp Randall Stadium, a little before 9 a.m. And then typically we start with community hour, which is about 50 minutes. And it's a course where we bring all of our students together and talk about relevant topics to them and to our community, as well as do activities and help students get to know each other from across the city. Then students in the freshman class might go to an academic course next, whether it's study skills or leadership, like Liliana had mentioned earlier. Then we do have an hour set aside every time we meet for study hour. We have in-person and right now, while we're virtual tutors that help students with their courses at school, but also with their technology projects and any other questions they have. And that time is also time on a Saturday morning where students are doing homework. That is one of the ways our students prepare themselves to be eligible to make it into UW-Madison and to just really excel in high school. We do offer lunch to our students when we meet in person, and it's catered lunch, it's fantastic, and we keep all dietary preferences and needs in mind. And then we usually round out the day either in the morning or in this case in the afternoon on this example schedule with a couple hours, like around 2.5 hours of the tech lab. So that's where we would introduce those tech topics as well as give time to work on those projects and get the feedback and answer all the questions that students have. We can go to the next slide. So I want to talk about commitment, and it's a really, really key feature of our program. And I am talking about families' commitments, the students' commitment, and also our staff's commitment. Particularly, a student enters ITA in the summer before their freshman year in high school. So they haven't actually gone to 9th grade yet. It's their summer after 8th grade. And we expect students to be there 100% of the time when we have our programming. And so we start with a 2-week camp in August, and then we go to 2 Saturdays a month throughout the school year. So from September all the way to May, we have 2 sessions per month. And those are scheduled on particular dates. And that's that 9 to 4 schedule. Not only do students need to be showing up to that, but students need to be using their laptops at the session and at home to make sure that they're keeping up with all of our course materials and keeping their grades up in high school. Now, like Liliana mentioned earlier, our program does not guarantee a spot at UW-Madison. However, by your commitment and our commitment joining together, many students have been successful, not only in our program, but in getting into UW-Madison either right away or as a transfer student and enjoying that tuition scholarship from the People program. Let's go to the next slide. Thank you. So after ITA, if you are admitted to UW-Madison, you become a part of the People College Scholars Program. And that's the program that then offers you the 4-year tuition scholarship. They continue the academic help. They have an office right on campus, and students in the People program can utilize that office and all the resources there. The diverse community not only continues from ITA, all of your friends, that are going to UW-Madison, you see them through People program events, but also that community then broadens to the students that went through the People program during their high school experience. Some of the requirements are the SCE summer collegiate experience, 6-week summer program before your freshman year of college, you still have to maintain that good academic standing and good grades. And you get to meet with your advisors each semester, and that's expected of you. And the advisors of the People program are outstanding and will help you in all of your goals. Let's go to the next slide, please. Yay, so I have the honor of passing the virtual mic on to Stephanie Mauricio, and she's going to tell us some of her reflections of her recent experience as a high school student in ITA.
Thank you, AJ. Hello, once more. My name is Stephanie Mauricio. I attended West High School, class of 2020, and also ITA, graduate of class of 2020. Currently, I am a sophomore at UW-Madison, majoring in human development and family studies and minoring in Spanish. For my ITA experience, personally, when I knew about the program, like a presentation as well, but in person, I knew that it was a great program. And I was introduced to it by my middle school counselors. They really pushed me towards this opportunity. And going on forward, I investigated more through their website and learned how great of an opportunity it was. They really offer students so many doors of opportunity to learn so many skills that are going to help them throughout high school and into college, as well as a beautiful support system that was given to me as part of the ITA family. They really make a community, and that was a part of my experience with ITA. They really get you to know your cohort, and you guys bond with the tutors, the instructors, and you feel supported all throughout high school. So you're never alone through anything that you're struggling with during high school or during ITA, which is something that I am really grateful for as an experience. They also prepared me very well with a lot of milestones that I stepped in with high school. Going as a freshman, I was prepared with resume. We also went through mock interviews for any job opportunities and the internships, which were paid internships as well, and gave very great experience for me. I also was an individual that didn't have a lot of computer science skills and was exposed to those skills, which made me more prepared and more of an open candidate for any jobs going into high school and coming into UW-Madison. They really prepare you for applying as well for all the college applications for UW-Madison. They give you ACT prep. They also give you a paid ACT exam, which is an opportunity that all students should really take, not take for granted, which I didn't, and I'm very appreciative of it, as well as great letters of recommendation for college applications, which is something that comes in very handy during the senior year. As well as another amazing aspect of it was that ITA really brought to me a prepared student for college. I didn't feel like I was missing anything, and I had that community in college as well with the People Scholarship. I have an outlet, I have advisors, which is something that as a student you really need throughout those years, and have got me to where I am today at UW-Madison. So I am very grateful for ITA, and I think ITA would be really happy to work with all the future students coming in, and I would like to thank them and thank you for your time today.
Okay. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for sharing your perspective and experiences as an alum. And we are grateful to have her here and helping us with the program right now. So thank you. So I'm going to take us through the next section of this presentation, which is just about the application process. And I will remind everybody again that don't worry about taking notes or remembering all of this. We will have this recording uploaded to our website by the end of the week. So don't worry. But I will start off by saying, as the slide indicates, that before you as a student, you as a family decide that this is something you want to pursue, the application, Just students, keep in mind that it really is up to you to drive this. This should not be a counselor led, they're filling out your application or really pushing you. You need to decide for yourself if this is indeed something you want to pursue. It will involve you, the application process is not difficult, but it does involve your counselor or teacher writing a letter a letter of recommendation for you, you submitting your grades, and also your parents supporting you, but also writing a letter of support on your behalf. So, and we'll kind of go through that in the next couple slides. Next slide, please. So how do you apply? So if you haven't already, definitely visit our webpage at ita.wis.edu. It's a one page that's full of the information you may need. It will have the application link on there. In addition to, we'll have our recorded presentations, and also we'll have links for support. So there are some walkthrough guides if you're finding for whatever reason you're having trouble getting through the application or how to even begin the application. There are some step-by-step resources available for you. So it is an online application, and we like to tell people in advance, you know, if you stay with it early on, you won't feel that rush towards the end. You do have 6 weeks. Applications opened this past Monday and will close on February 21st. So allow yourself time to really complete a thorough application so you don't feel rushed. As I indicated, you will have ask one of your counselors or a teacher to write you a letter of recommendation. Your parent, one parent or guardian will write a letter of support for you. And I should mention, parents, if your first language is not English, you feel free to write your letter, your parent or guardian letter in your native language. And then also there are three short essay questions in the application that we will ask you to complete. And by short essay, we're talking no more than 100 to 200 words. So don't worry, it's nothing long, but they're great questions. And it gets you thinking about your own commitment, your educational journey so far, and also your interest in technology. So again, we just need your general information. That is the front of the application. You'll see a letter of support from a parent or guardian, a letter of recommendation, again, from a teacher or counselor that knows you. Someone that doesn't know you, they may not be able to write and speak to all of your strengths. So make sure that you select someone that knows you. And then your middle school grade reports. And that does include 6th grade, 7th grade, and your first semester of 8th grade. I know that with Madison schools, the grade reports will not be complete until towards the end of January, and that's okay. You can get every other part of your application complete, and we'll just wait for the grade reports to come in. So, okay, next slide. So when I'm talking about that page, the ita.wis.edu, this is just what it looks like. It is longer. We didn't want to, that's just the top half of the page, but you'll see it's very user-friendly, and then you'll scroll down through. You can click where it says applications now open. There's another spot on this page where you can click to get right into the application, but you will again see on this page where the video will be posted, where there's some more support resources for you to complete your application will be listed as well. All right, next slide. So I will talk about our timeline. And I do recognize that many of our applicants also apply for the People program and other pre-college programs, which is great. We thoroughly support you in applying to anything that's of interest to you. Because ITA does have a very, we're limited in how many students we can take in, which is only 30. I do suggest that if you do have some shared interest in other pre-college programs, to definitely apply to those as well. But just to give you a sense of our timeline, so as you know, we opened our applications on Monday. You're here tonight, yay, thank you for the presentation, which again will be recorded. And then the deadline that you're working up to is February 21st. It seems like a far way away, but it'll come up quick. So we do ask you to begin and start working on your application so you can meet that deadline, no problem. And then you'll notice that between February 21st and April 19th, what are they doing? Why is there such a gap in time? Well, we do take every application very seriously. We have a holistic approach to when we review all of the applications that come in. Every application is read by the ITA staff, as well as the ITA advisory board. So we really do take your time that you put into your application seriously. We read everything and make the most informed decisions off of that. April 19th, this is when students will be notified if you are selected for an interview. All students that enter ITA do have to go through an interview process with their parents or guardian. And so the notification, if you're invited for an interview, will be April 19th. If not, you are on a wait list. So there are, again, we do work through the wait list. So if you were to be a candidate that received a wait list, don't be discouraged. Again, because a lot of students do apply to multiple programs. And so sometimes maybe ITA isn't their first pick. And so we do, every year, we do work through our wait list. And then soon after that, it's a couple weeks before you get your letter of official acceptance if you're accepted to ITA. And then we need to hear back from you before June, May 27th, and we need to hear back from you if you do accept the offer of admissions into ITA. So that is our timeline. So it gives you a sense. So after you apply, you're not just sitting and waiting and wondering, but this is the timeline that we work through. And that'll also, again, be posted on our website, so you're aware. Next slide, please. Okay, so to recap what I said, again, these are things that you'll need to complete an application. Your grade report, 6th through 8th grade first semester. That letter of support from a parent or guardian, letter of recommendation from your teacher or school counselor, and the completion of 3 essay questions, which I did not mention. The questions are they're in the application. So they're not going to be sent separately or anything like that. They're already, when you go into the application and scroll down through, you'll see where the 3 essay questions are. And you can enter them into the box that's provided on the application, or you can cut and paste from an outside document. So again, to go find the application, you'll visit our ita.wis.edu page. You'll select the ITA program that you're applying to, and that happens when you get into the application. So sorry for any confusion. When you actually click on the application, you'll see a couple other, it should go right to ITA, or sometimes you may see a couple other programs, and you'll just select ITA and go from there. And then the steps to create an account, that's on our website. That's how you have to get into the application. You have to actually create an account, but there are step-by-step instructions right there, so it won't be a problem at all. And then again, that deadline comes up pretty quick. So February 21st by 5 p.m. Now, I am your first contact as far as, hey, I'm having problems, or I have a question about my application, or what have you. Feel free to email. Email is probably the fastest way. We are still working remote from our campus offices, so email is the fastest way. I promise you, I'm checking it morning, noon, and night throughout this application season. So don't hesitate to please just shoot me an email with any questions that you may have. Next slide, please. Now we're towards the end of our official presentation, and we're about to open it up to you, our guests, for questions. But just to really reiterate some of the key points that you heard this evening. Again, we are a pre-college program. We are particularly a pipeline into University of Wisconsin-Madison, working with the Madison School District. So a couple questions come up sometimes, that if I live in Madison, but I go to, Middleton or Monona Grove, or if I attended a Madison middle school, but I'm going to a different high school, that is the only way that you would qualify to be a applicant and potential admission to ITA. You have to attend a Madison school. So again, if you are currently at a Madison middle school, but perhaps you're going outside the district, we'll work with you. If you are outside the district, but you're going to West High School, and that's confirmed, we will work with you. But it is a Madison Metropolitan School District agreement with UW-Madison. The scholarship is for UW-Madison. It is only for UW-Madison. So sometimes our students may select and want to go, and it's a better fit for them to go to another school, and we support those efforts, absolutely. However, the scholarship does not go with you to another UW system school or another college in general. However, if you decide to transfer, you may have heard that earlier, if you decide to transfer from MATC or Milwaukee or wherever, and you want to come and finish your last 2 years or your last 3 years of college at UW-Madison, that remaining scholarship amount is available for students, okay? As you know, that you do have a free loan computer while you are an ITA student, with all of the top software and support, lifetime friends, campus connections, because you will be in and out of a lot of different buildings, especially during our summer programming. So you really get to know the campus, and you have a supportive community within ITA and beyond. So definitely, even if you're not sure and you're thinking about ITA, go ahead and start the application. If you decide at the end of the process that this is not for me, that's okay. But this is the only time of entry into the ITA program is right now. So it doesn't hurt, it doesn't cost anything. So I strongly encourage, if you're interested, even a fraction of a bit interest, start your application today. Okay, I think now we can go ahead and open up and open our mics, or excuse me, open our cameras up and answer questions that may have been dropped in the chat, or if folks want to just, we do have our tech support monitoring, and so we can go through the questions at this time.
Sure. One of the first questions is, are there specific programming languages taught?
Sure, I'll answer that. That does change as trends change, but for a while now, we've been teaching HTML and CSS for web design, and we teach Python and the program Scratch as far as programming goes. Great question.
All right. The next question is, how many applications are usually received, and how many spots are available for the program?
Sure, I can answer that. Typically, we have anywhere between 100 and 130 applications. Last year, we had 137, but it is competitive, as I mentioned, and unfortunately, we only accept 30 students. So in comparison to some people program, we're not in competition with people. We just have a different focus, but they are in a position they accept many more students. So that's a great question, because sometimes I know students get the two mixed up, especially when we say at college they come together as people scholars, but during high school you're either an ITA or a people program, and ITA we accept 30 students.
Great. The next question is, must the student be an 8th grader to apply? Can a current 7th grader apply?
That would be wonderful if they could. I wish we could open it up, but no, this program is just for high school students. So it is the spring semester, the 8th grade year when they apply.
But there is something for that student. Just wait one year. A year from now, you can definitely apply, and we hope you do.
So far, that's all the questions in the chat. So if anybody else has questions, oh, here we go. I am an athlete. Football starts in August, so I'm wondering if ITA would conflict with any of my athletics.
Well, I don't want to hog the mic, so I will give it to our director, Ron Jetty, to answer that.
Thanks, Marcia. Yes, so students do, we encourage them to have extracurricular activities in high school. We do check to see which activities they are, because this is a big time commitment, like you saw earlier in the presentation. So our sessions are typically on Saturday. And so if your extracurricular schedule fits, that may be possible. So you'd have to weigh that. I don't think there's a lot of football games on Saturday mornings and afternoons, but sometimes the practices might interfere with our summer camps. That's where the conflict would probably be, in August with the summer camps in particular for that sport. So we're not just picking on football, if it's soccer or any other kind of activity like that, that would interfere with either that summer camp time or the Saturdays. That's going to be a challenge. So families then have to weigh that and make that decision. Great question, and thank you for that.
Thank you, Ron. The next question is a two-part question. So the first part is, to be clear, this is only for incoming freshmen apply while they're already in high school, like sophomores, juniors, and seniors, or are they able to apply?
Thank you for that. That is a great question. No, this is the only point of entry as incoming freshmen. On our website, as well as I think there is a link to Badger Pre-College. There are a number of other pre-college programs for students ages 5 to 18. So I definitely encourage, if you do have a student that is already in high school, and they want to have another experience or a pre-college experience, there are other programs on campus that may meet what they're looking for.
And then the second part to that question is, for the Saturday commitments, is it year round?
Yes, it is. It is. We kick off in September and the last session is in May.
The next question is, what is the retention rate from start to finish?
I can take that one. The pandemic has impacted us, and we have a little more attrition because of COVID. That's been an impact. Typically for our Madison site, some cohorts, I think we had one where all 30 of them made it through. Typically it's always over 25, 26 to between 26 and we might lose one or two along the way, but it's a high retention rate because of the cohort model that we have.
The next question is, what are the dates for the summer camp in August?
It's always the first 2 weeks in August where we ask families to set aside time. And in fact, Marcia will be putting that on the calendar for us to discuss soon. We have this August laid out, and we look to get that out in advance to families so they can plan around that as well.
If anybody else had any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Next question is IT a commitment till the end of high school?
Great question. Yes, it is. That's that commitment piece we talk about, is that, once you're in, it's not kind of I'm going to sit out this semester, come back next semester, that type of thing. It is a commitment all 4 years.
Thank you. The next question is, will the program be available virtually at all?
Yes, well, currently we are in that. Ideally, of course, we want to be back in person, but we're not going to until we are, we do have, what's the word I'm looking for? A model in place for us to return in person, to return safely. We're we're hoping to yet early this semester at the Madison site. So we do have, I guess COVID has made us, we're able to meet in person as well as virtually, but our goal is to get back in person, but safely.
I'll piggyback off that question as well.
Mhm.
If it does go back in person, will students have an option to continue to participate virtually?
So here's what I'll jump in on this, and we're in the middle of doing some program review right now. We're doing some planning and restructuring. The pandemic has, forced us to, and it's actually, there's been a few positive things out of this, believe it or not, out of this pandemic. We actually offer more tutoring opportunities than we used to. They're available via Zoom. So instead of having students come to campus a couple times a week, we're able to offer tutoring 4 or 5 times a week via Zoom, so a student can just log in there. When we do return, those scheduled Saturday sessions, they will be required activities. If I have a crystal ball, I think we're always going to have a hybrid program going forward. It's not going to be, I can pick this exclusive virtual program or I can pick the in-person program. We have our curriculum all on Canvas, our learning management system. I think you all are familiar with Infinite Campus. So we have Canvas is what our so all the coursework is there. It gives us an opportunity to maybe do some different things in our Saturday sessions. But, AJ laid out what a typical Saturday looks like. That, as we transition back, will perhaps evolve a bit. But the sessions on Saturdays, we will expect students to be there for the cohort. It's a cohort model. The students get to go through this journey together. And as a result, they need to be there together in attendance.
I'll just add one extra quick thing to that with the hybrid model that Ron's speaking about. Yeah, I mean, if a student is feeling sick or there's a reason they can't attend, going forward, they're going to be able to make that work up virtually. And then I'll just emphasize the points we've been making all along. Coming in person or just generally building community is probably the #1 goal of our program. That community is so strong and so essential for your success.
The other thing is, as AJ said, some student, if you're sick, we don't want you to come to ITA. We're actually setting up a screening tool for safe return. Parents are going to have to fill that out to ensure that, I mean, it's targeted at COVID, but it's really for every illness. The parent will sign off, my student is healthy, off they go to ITA. But what was I going to say? Oh, if it's an academic related event, such as taking the ACT test or another academic honors program or something like that, there are excused absences for those type of things related to your high school academic program. It's the extracurriculars that aren't coursework related that are problematic and would be unexcused.
We still have some time left, so if anybody else has any lingering questions, feel free to drop them in.
These are great questions, by the way. Kudos to everybody for all this clarifying questions you're asking.
Also, too, while families and faculty and staff that are on their call tonight, while you're thinking of additional questions, I would like to turn it to my colleagues to see, are there any other highlights or any other things you'd like to underscore that we may have mentioned? Sometimes we get so used to it, so we go through it, but if there's anything else that you would like to have highlighted, please feel free to share with the group.
We just had another question come in. The question is, what do you look for in the application?
We look for you to be you and to be honest. We believe us. We can tell if you're writing something that does not sound, like if we can tell when you're writing to please us versus just be you. Tell us, the questions are thought-provoking for yourself, and be honest. We love honesty. We love you to bring you to the table and share. So I don't know if that's answering your question or not. I don't want it to be a stressful experience for students. It really is your first time of putting yourself, like, what are your interests? What do you want to do? What do you see yourself doing? What can you commit to? Is this meeting, could this potentially meet your needs, and how? So if anybody else wants to add to that, please do.
Yeah, it's funny because when you just said, is there anything I want to highlight? It had to do with something we look for in the application, which is those 3 personal essays. And just going up, a little further than what Marcia's saying, we're going to be looking at your grade reports. It's been a rough 2 years in this pandemic, and we know that. What we don't know is what it's been like for you, why your grades are super high, why you might have gotten a bad grade here or there. Those essay questions are also a chance for you to explain what we're looking at. And the more that you're making that clear, the more we understand what you're bringing to the table to our program, because our cohorts are very diverse across the board in all sorts of ways. And so, yeah, we're really looking at that part, because that's your chance to explain to us what else we're looking at.
And I'm going to volley it back and forth with AJ. Even with that too, it's the recovery, right? We have all made mistakes, or we all have, oh, if I would have done this or that, or life happens. How do you come out on the other side? How do you take ownership for that? And how do you set yourself up for success? I think that's, that is more telling, and very, it's important for us to see that as well.
I just wanted to add on as well. When I applied for the program, I don't want any students to feel discouraged by a bad grade or anything like that, because when I applied for the program, I had a D come in one of my classes coming into the program, and it was highlighted in my interview. But thankfully, ITA, giving them kind of a run through of my situation, they were accepting, and they kind of were able to help me work through that situation. So I'm really grateful for that. And I don't want any students to feel discouraged because they might have one bad grade that they're worried that if they apply, that it'll hold them back.
Thanks for taking the risk to put that out there, Brandon. By the way, Brandon excelled in our program. I mean, he works for us now. He took advantage of all the things ITA had to offer, and really invested himself. I will say that he said that got flagged in his interview. The question would be, we noted it on the grade report. How are you going to take care of that in high school? That was kind of the question. And we were really looking for the game plan to, I guess maybe I'm giving away some secret sauce here, but we really want to know about your planning and kind of how you're thinking about that course correction and getting off to a great start with your freshman year.
Thanks for that, Ron. We do have another question. The question is, what do you suggest a student family should do if there hasn't been an opportunity to develop a relationship with the school counselor and they need a meaningful referral letter?
Yeah, and that's a fair question. I think we should say that it's not limited to the school counselor. It can be a teacher. We have a number of students that have teachers write them a letter of support. And really, let me just even break it down further. The recommendation, the first part of it is a standard kind of evaluation in different areas of child's educational progress. And then there's a chance for them to write. It's not necessarily this long, in-depth, I've known them since birth letter, but just helps us to hear their sense of what they've experienced with that student. So, if you may want to, a lot of times counselors may even say, hey, I don't know if I'm the best person to write it, but how about Mr. So-and-so, your social studies teacher, so it's either your counselor or a teacher. I hope that answers that for you.
The main reason you need a school counselor is to get that middle school transcript, I believe. Is that right, Marcia?
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yes. So it is kind of one of those counselors we work and I'm in constant contact with the middle school counselors each week. And so they're the primary person to, you know, give us those grade reports or help the students get those grade reports to us. But then there are sometimes counselors will also do the letter of recommendation. But you're not limited to that school counselor for the letter recommendation. Certainly ask a teacher as well.
And give them plenty of advance notice when you ask them so that they write you the best letter that they can.
I wanted to come off mute here because I did get an earlier question as a direct message. Someone asked me if prior tech knowledge is required for ITA.
I'll give an answer, but I would love to hear from some of the graduates on that. But no, we try our very hardest, and I think we succeed very well in making all of our technology coursework engaging, no matter what your level is coming in. You do need to have like some interest though, like a high interest in technology, because we go through so many topics. You can't just be really excited about photography because we only do that, you know, here and there. So you do need to be interested and willing to learn and willing to try, and we will meet you there and say, let's meet at your level and work you through that.
Second part of what he asked was really good too, is that one of our alums, if you wouldn't mind sharing your perspective, especially if you weren't a student that was really interested in IT, or excuse me, in technology.
I can share. Going into ITA, I really hadn't ever used a computer or really had any experience with it. And going into ITA as a freshman, as a first year, I really got to know everything about a computer. We broke one down. So I think my interest just grew from there. And you definitely, like AJ said, they start at where you're at. You don't feel like you're being left behind. It's definitely building on interest, and you will have very interactive activities that will keep you interested, but it's also dependent on the student to put that effort in to learn, because it is a lot of hands-on skill and continuing learning for computer science skills, which I think can go into a lot of creativeness that we have in IT. So as someone that didn't really know much about computers, I really grew to love computer science. So I think it's definitely something that you can grow to love, but as well, it's depending on the student.
We just got another question, so I wanted to address that before we run out of time here. The question is the recommendation letter from the counselor or teacher like a PDF, or how should it be presented?
Great question. So in the application is where everything is hidden, right? In the application towards the bottom, the student will either give the teacher name or the counselor's name and their email address. And then it automatically an email gets sent to them. So you want to make sure you have their correct email address. And it is a form that they fill out. It's automated, and then it just tells them to hit submit, and it comes back to us. So there isn't any PDF or anything they have to do separate. It's all automatically sent to them and then sent back to us. So just make sure you have their correct email address. Well, I will be the one, in respect for everybody's time. It is the top of the hour. And first and foremost, thank you so very much for joining us this evening, taking time out, and participating and asking all of these great engaging questions. More questions may come up, so I highly encourage you to please email us. Email us at the email that you see down below anytime during this process. I'm very accessible. I think the emails that I sent out reminding you of this has my personal email. So you could send it to me directly or send it to the ITA at doit.wisc.edu that you see on the screen. So we're here to support you through this process. So please don't hesitate at all to reach up and reach out. And then by the end of the week, our goal, we're gonna convert this into a YouTube and post it onto our website. So just give us a day or two and it will be up there. You'll probably get another email from me, just letting you know that it's available for viewing and also sharing with friends that were not able to join us this evening. So again, I do thank you on behalf of the ITA staff and the University of Wisconsin. Thank you for joining us. And we look forward to seeing your applications over the next 6 weeks. Have a good evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
Thank you. Bye now.